Dragon boats and dragons are believed to have originated in southern central China more than 2,000 years ago. They lived by Dongting Lake and along the banks of the Changjiang, now called the Yangtze River, during the same era when the games of the ancient Greece were being established at Olympia. Dragon boat racing has been practiced since this period as the basis for annual water rituals, festival celebrations, and for the traditional veneration of the Chinese water dragon deity, to avert misfortune and calamity and encourage rainfall, which is needed for the fertility of the crops and thus for the prosperity of an agrarian way of life. The celebration was an important part of the ancient Chinese agricultural society, celebrating the summer rice planting. Traditionally, dragons were believed to be the rulers of water on earth, rivers, lakes, and seas. They were also thought to dominate the waters of the heavens, clouds, mists, and rains. Of the 12 animals which make up the traditional Chinese zodiac, only the dragon is a mythical creature. There are earth dragons, mountain dragons, and sky or celestial dragons in Chinese tradition. Both the sun and the dragon are considered to be male. The moon and the mythical phoenix are considered to be female. The sun and the dragon are at their most potent during this time of year, so cause for observing this through ritual celebrations, such as dragon boat racing. The roots of dragon boating can be traced back to the southern provinces of China. One of the legends includes warring states, radical politics, fierce loyalty, and passion written poetically by one man, Chu Yuan. A scholar and advisor to the emperor of the Chu kingdom, Chu Yuan was banished from the kingdom after the king fell under the influence of corrupt ministers. Chu Yuan spent many years wandering the countryside and composing great poetry until, on learning of his kingdom's defeat, he leapt into the Milu River, holding a huge rock in a display of his heartfelt sorrow. The people loved Chu Yuan very much and raced out in their fishing boats to the middle of the river in a vain attempt to save him. They beat on drums, splashed their paddles in the water, and threw rice dumplings into the river to distract and keep away the water dragons, and to honor his soul and to ensure it didn't go hungry. However, late one night, the spirit of Chu Yuan appeared before his friends and told them that the rice that was meant for him was being intercepted by a huge river dragon. He asked his friends to wrap their rice into 3-cornered silk packages and to tie 5 colors of string about it to ward off the dragon. These packages became a traditional food known as zongzi, although the lumps of rice are now wrapped in leaves instead of silk. The act of racing to search for his body in boats gradually became the cultural tradition of dragon boat racing, held on the anniversary of his death every year. Today, people still eat zongzi and participate in dragon boat races to commemorate Chu Yuan's sacrifice on the 5th day of the 5th month of the traditional lunisolar Chinese calendar. Dragon boating evolved from the reenactment of this legend at annual festivals. Since the mid-1970s, high-level competitions have been organized. Today, dragon boat racing is the fastest-growing international team water sport, with race festivals held around the world in Asia, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, the United States, and Canada. From China, dragon boating spread throughout Asia and eventually made its way to Europe, Australia, and North America. Dragon boating was introduced to Canada when boats were paddled during Expo 86 in Vancouver, British Columbia. 6 boats were sent from Hong Kong through the Vancouver Chinese Cultural Centre to commemorate the World Exposition on Transportation and Communication and celebrate the 100th anniversary of the founding of Vancouver. Upon their arrival, 3 more were immediately ordered, bringing the teak fleet up to 9 boats. That same summer, the Dragon Boat Association was formed, to host the first Dragon Boat Festival in North America with demonstration races using the original wooden dragon boats. So began the sport of dragon boating in Canada, and its excitement grew quickly across the nation. 1986 was the first Dragon Boat Festival held in Canada. In 1988, the Toronto Chinese Business Association also received 6 teak dragon boats from Hong Kong. By 1990, fiberglass dragon boats made their appearance in Canada. The British governor of Hong Kong gifted a teak dragon boat to Canada in 1992, which is part of the permanent living collection in the Museum of History in Gatineau, Quebec. Canada reciprocated by presenting a carved cedar totem pole, crafted by British Columbia First Nations members as a symbol of friendship. In 1993, Dragon Boat Canada was formed and became the governing body of the sport in Canada. Dr. Don McKenzie, a sports medicine specialist at the University of British Columbia, and Jane Frost, a founding member of a Breast in a Boat team, started the breast cancer dragon boat movement in 1996. In 2003, the Vancouver Taiwanese Cultural Centre brought 6 traditional dragon boats made of camphor wood to Vancouver. Today, dragon boat racing, sport and festival is among the fastest growing of team water sports in the world, with millions of participants in various organizations and clubs in nearly 100 countries. By 2008, the wooden dragon boats that started this amazing movement in Canada were in need of restoration and finally put to rest. Following more than 2 decades of regular use by thousands of paddlers, the original wooden dragon boats were moved into storage under a bridge in the city of Vancouver. For 7 years, the Vancouver Chinese Cultural Centre Dragon Boat Association continued to be the stewards of the wooden boats. They cared for the retired fleet of 15 dragon boats, heads, tails, drums, and accessories, completing repairs as required, including pumping rainwater and snowmelt out of the boats. The bridge provided some level of protection from the elements. However, their future was uncertain. In 2015, the property was designated for alternate use by the City of Vancouver, and the Dragon Boat Association was asked that the boats and equipment be moved. Led by longtime Dragon Boat Association member Wing Wong, the organization attempted for several months to find local paddling clubs to take possession of the boats. Wong was assisted by Dean Fortin, who worked in various capacities in the Vancouver Dragon Boat community for several years. Fortin posted a notice on the Dragon Boat West web forum to sell the boats and was waiting for a reply. Ted Crouch, then president, with the local Shuswap Rowing and Paddling Club, visited the site to learn more about the Dragon Boat festivals in Western Canada and noticed the ad. Crouch contacted Fortin, and the Great Dragon Boat Adventure began.
So I contacted Dean Fortin, who was the gentleman posting the ad, and he clarified that in fact the complete fleet was for sale. I think at that point it became apparent that what I really wanted to do next was seek out someone in our community who I thought would be an expert on restoring wooden boats. And I was aware of Ed Campbell, a log home builder and a canoe restoration expert, and contacted Ed. From there it was a matter of talking briefly about the project, and Ed's recommendation was that we should head down to Vancouver and check out the boats. And there began what became known as the Great Dragon Boat Adventure.
So off we went. Went to Vancouver and had a look at these boats. And in looking at them, I determined, I was told that they're made out of teak. And knowing that teak is a wood that doesn't decay very readily, I was able to look these boats over carefully and saw that they were all restorable. There was no decay that was visible in any of these boats. They were all restorable. What a find. And a lot of people, they looked ugly and in pretty rough looking shape. And I'm sure a lot of people would have planted flowers in them and been done with it. But we decided that these boats were worth saving. And so we proceeded from there.
A truly unique collection, the original wooden dragon boats. A journey from Hong Kong to British Columbia to celebrate Expo 86. 9 teak masterpieces introduced these dragons to North America. Thousands have paddled them. They spoke to a generation. The community of Salmon Arm is the recipient of a truly unique Canadian collection of 9 teak Hong Kong dragon boats and 6 camphor wood boats from Taiwan. The collection was donated in June 2015 by the Vancouver Chinese Cultural Centre Dragon Boat Association through the support of the Shuswap Rowing and Paddling Club. Community support began before the boats arrived in Salmon Arm. Access Precision Machine owner Mike Malin saw the benefit of such a unique community initiative. He offered one of his buildings to store the boats while funding options were being researched to undertake the restoration work. After 10 months of storage, the premises were rented out to another business and the dragons were on the move. The project secured funding to begin restoration work in February 2016. The boats and equipment were transported to a new location in the former Canadian Tire building along the Trans-Canada Highway in Salmon Arm. Local businessman William Laird also wanted to support the community project and offered the dragons a new home. The original Dragon Boat Restoration Project was supervised by Ed Campbell and managed by Aspiral Youth Partners Association. The restoration team members were made up of unemployed workers referred through Work BC and the Employment Program of BC under a Job Creation Partnership Program. Funding was provided by the Government of Canada and the Province of British Columbia. A commitment of approximately $371,000 to the project provided 16 participants with experience in scraping, sanding, grinding, painting, varnishing, woodworking, and power tool operation as they brought the boats back to life. The restoration of each boat included refinishing the hull, original dragon heads and tails, seats, paddles, steering oars, and drums.
I learned about the project when I was unemployed and I was going through Work BC to help find employment. And my career counselor, she sent me an email saying that there's this new project that's going to be starting through the government. And I think you might be really interested in it. You'll be learning some new woodworking skills. I'm saying, I would be interested in that. Never had any skills in woodworking before. I want to be part of the project because this has never been done before. I've never been a part of anything this big, and I thought it would be something I could be really proud of, that I could see my work being like in front of my eyes, instead of like doing just retail and you're just working 8 to 5 and you're not enjoying your job. Like I actually enjoy seeing the finished product of my hard labor, and I think that's really valuable. I really appreciate what hard work can achieve, and I just wanted to do something different. No one's ever done something like this before that I know of.
In the beginning, it was working on the wood and the boats and learning those skills. Now that I've learned most of those skills and I know how to restore a dragon boat, a teak one anyways, my ability to network has grown at least 3 times more. So it's a lot easier for me to go out and talk to people. Even though that was my greatest weakness, I'm doing my best to turn it into a strength. So that's how this project has benefited me so far.
Additional experience included personal management, event planning, media, marketing, video production and editing, community engagement, and teamwork activities.
My biggest challenge working on the project was the first couple months getting used to everybody other's work habits and how to work well with others. And I think we're finally there. I think this JCP will benefit me later on in life because it helped me learn how to work with lots of people in a close quarters space, and yeah, it taught me other skills that I didn't know before, such as fiberglassing and, well, scraping. Scraping. And a lot of it.
Safety was important, and participants obtained certification through short-term courses in occupational first aid and forklift operation.
My favorite moment on the project was when we finished Teak 5 and 6, seeing the beauty that came out of the boats, considering the state that they were in when we first saw them, and as well as getting the 2 other boats in and seeing that we have a lot more work ahead of us, but it was a good accomplishment. I think the benefits that I will reap from this JCP is the skills as well as the work experience moving forward in the workforce, as well as in my own personal endeavors that I may take on involving restoring wood, building decks, etc. I don't know if I'll particularly stay in this field, but I think the skills that I've learned on this will definitely help me moving forward.
I think the importance of this project is it'll put Salmon Arm on the map again. The response that we've got from people are pretty well countrywide and soon to be worldwide is unbelievable. I have a chance to work on something that is going to be in the history books, and that's pretty awesome.
Well, I wanted to be part of this project because, well, mainly there's nothing else like it, right? This is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be part of something like this to this extent. It was just a really special thing that I thought I had to be part of. Having these boats in the community itself is going to be a huge tourist attraction, can be huge for just the economy here or the local business stores. You know, bringing a lot more people and getting a lot more people excited with dragon boats because they're beautiful boats, right? And, you know, not a lot of people have heard about them yet or know what they are. It's getting out there, but the more we do and the more it's out there, the more people start to know and the more people are excited and want to participate. And that's huge in a community, especially a small community where we can all just get together and just be excited about something.
Participants learned how to build and use a custom-made frame to roll the boats. When the boat was secured on its base, participants began the work inside, removing all of the paint, fiberglass, and epoxy from previous refurbishing projects.
My favorite moment on the project has been probably working on the heads, the dragon heads themselves, and like finishing them and building the little parts and just bringing them back to life and cleaning them up, because whoever the artist was that originally built those was an artist. And so it's been quite a thrill for me to actually take them and bring them back again, you know. So I'm pretty proud to say that I've repaired those heads and done a lot of work to them, and you know, that's very artistic, which is not normally what I'm involved in. So yeah, it made me feel really good, really proud.
Been many favorite moments, but one of them really stands out is having the opportunity to do boat number 6, the head, the dragon for the boat. That was I put my all into that. You know, I do that purposely in my life. You know, I put my all into everything. Along goes with trades, people, and everything, right? So that really stands out in me because that brought out some talent I never knew I ever had. You know, and different types of sandpaper. I never knew there was such a thing. You know, I didn't know there was 500 pieces of sandpaper that all had a meaning and a different purpose. All in all, this has been the ultimate deal, doing this dragon boat deal. restoration from grinding, scraping, picking, clawing, putting your teeth into it, you know, hands-on, making something ugly and hideous look totally beautiful. And that's self-rewarding right there, basically. You know, we brought the teak to life. And that wasn't very hard at some parts. Some parts were really difficult, you know. 15 layers of Chernobyl paint on there and 40 layers of varnish, and I think they'll be very thankful once they're finished. And the community probably will be too, that they weren't just wasted and discarded. This program has benefited me on the lack of jobs, and I was capable and able to be a part of the EI team, that I was open the doors from Work BC, that allowed me to work this program, restoring dragon boats, working with others and people I'd never known before, different tributes towards people and places, you know, building new friendships. You know, it's been an awesome program. And the benefits are unbelievably amounts. There's tons, you know, not just financials. It's having the ability to go to work every day and do something that you're proud of doing. Putting your hands on something ugly and make it beautiful. That's a total benefit. And the benefit will even be later on down life, you know, 20, 30 years from now, and I'd be able to walk by one of these boats, maybe in an airport or a museum or a hall, or and tell somebody next to me that, hey, I worked that dragon boat. And they have no choice but to believe me, because there's my name in the brass little plaque there.
I wanted to be part of this project to get some different skills, because I've been in healthcare my whole career, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to learn something new. I think participating in this JCP has benefited me and or will benefit me by broadening a network of people, meeting a lot of people that I wouldn't have met in a different setting or a different job. It's given me an opportunity to kind of explore different options for career ideas, and also obviously built up my skills for going into a different job. Again, these boats are meant to be in the water, so I think at least some of them need to go back into the water and work in whatever way that looks like to them or for them. I think they're great for education in a lot of different ways. They should go on the Amazing Race as a leg of the race.
Many of the boats required new seats and bulkheads. Through consultation with the DBA, this allowed for modifications to improve access for footrests, and wider seats were installed. Upon completion of each boat, a ceremony called Awakening the Dragon, or Dotting the I's, takes place in the community. The ceremony respects the dragon's spirit by drawing eyes and giving them life while blessing the boat and paddlers. Respected people and community leaders are honored to be part of the ceremony.
And I was just walking, this is number 6 right here, and walking along and just feeling the teak, and you can actually feel the energy in that boat. And it's amazing. It's amazing what this group has accomplished. I really want to compliment all of those that have worked on these boats.
The first 2 boats that were completed celebrated their maiden voyage in Shuswap Lake. Anticipation and emotions were high. For the very first time, restoration team members watched the boats they had worked on move across the lake in a glorious display of grace and power. Paddlers were overwhelmed sitting in the original wooden dragon boats. They could feel the spirit within the boats that represented the beginning of dragon boating in Canada.
The one thing that always stood out to me was when the people actually saw the finished boats. It was always, they'd always come in and they would just stand there and stare at them. And I don't think anybody realized how big the boats are until you actually stand beside them. And it seems like there's something about the boats that always makes people touch them. They have to touch them every time they walk by, and it's kind of magical.
During the paddling season, boats took part in the Carnation Ceremony at the Shuswap Dragon Boat Festival and a fun race between friends to end the event. Invitations from community organizations were received to display the boats during the Salty Street Fest, the Salmon Arm Roots and Blues Festival, and the annual Fall Fair. 220 guests attended a gala event celebrating the journey of the dragon boats, recognizing accomplishments of the restoration team, and thanking the organizers, businesses, and individuals who supported the successful completion of this remarkable community project. Held on the eve of the Chinese New Year, the event welcomed 2017, the year of the Fire Rooster, and Canada's 150th birthday. During Canada 150 celebrations, 4 of the dragon boats joined community paddles around Shuswap Lake. Local paddlers and tourists had an opportunity to paddle them.
The ride, having been out in that dragon boat about 100 times, this is magic, just absolutely magic. We had a limited crew on this morning and we could outrace that boat on any course you want to put us on.
When not participating in community events, the boats were on display at the Piccadilly Mall in Salmon Arm. In fair exchange for the donation, the Dragon Boat Association requested that one of the restored boats be returned to their organization. The exciting community initiative continued in 2017 with a new team of 5 individuals and 1 returning member. This group came together for the first time to begin the restoration of the 6 original wooden Taiwanese dragon boats, the only ones in Canada. These boats, made of camphor wood and Chinese juniper, were also transported to Salmon Arm in 2015 as part of the 15-boat fleet. They would be part of a community project in collaboration with Shuswap Rowing and Paddling, the Vancouver Chinese Cultural Centre Dragon Boat Association, and Aspiral Youth Partners. The origin of these boats arriving in Canada began in 2002. An avid supporter of the dragon boat movement in Vancouver saw some Taiwanese dragon boats being used in the United States. At this time, the Vancouver Taiwanese Canadian Cultural Society, TCCS, had been holding a Taiwanese cultural festival at the Plaza of Nations during Labor Day weekend for a few years. Organizers felt that an expansion of their festival activities was appropriate. A unique aspect of this form of competitive racing features a flag catcher, who is required to catch a flag floating on the water at the finish line to complete the race. The fun races, which were enjoyed by all participants, included racing blindfolded and paddling backwards. As these boats were only used for 6 years before being put into storage, they did not require extensive repair or restoration. However, one of the boats had sustained damage beyond repair, resulting from an accident while in storage in Vancouver. Participants Harold Fitzpatrick, Shelby Young, Dwayne Sampson, Ernest Heiss, and Joyce Lastavec spent 7 months working in the Salmon Arm Industrial Park in the former home of Access Precision Machining Limited. Project supervisors were Ed Campbell and Brent Moffat. Daily work involved scraping, sanding, and grinding in order to repair the 46-foot wooden boats that required refurbishing after years of challenging West Coast paddling. The individuals gained work experience and new skills in woodwork, restoration, painting, power tool operation, and team building, as well as obtaining certification for occupational first aid, forklift, and overhead crane operator training. These skills and certifications improved their ability to pursue future job opportunities or continued education throughout the local labour market and broader provincial economy. Other skill development included adapting digital technology to assist with the intricate drawing and eventual painting of the claws and scales on these boats. By the end of the project, the completed boats featured elaborate and detailed painting of the finished dragon's heads, tails, claws, and scales that were part of the original design of master boat builder Liu Qingcheng. These Taiwanese dragon boats and other wooden crafts such as fishing boats were built in Taiwan using a mix of camphor wood and Chinese juniper in the construction process. In 1982, the use of camphor wood for boat building was discontinued as the camphor was dedicated for use as an essential oil product. Camphor is a white, transparent, waxy crystalline solid with a strong, penetrating, pungent, aromatic odor. Team members Chad Foreman and Stephanie Sweet were later joined by Jeanette Clement to work on the community engagement side of the project and gained valuable work experience assisting with special event planning, media and marketing activities supporting the project. Participants also learned to develop a marketing strategy and prepare media releases to tell the full story of the restoration project. Their skill development was enhanced by writing news articles and creating advertisements and videos for film festivals and promotional events. During the making of a documentary on the project, one of the participants was able to use her musical composition skill to assist with creating sections of the musical score. The entire team was involved in planning and presenting community events, including the Dotting of the I ceremony and showcasing at the 25th Annual Salmon Arm Roots and Blues Festival and Annual Fall Fair.
My favorite moment on the project was definitely finishing the boats. Just seeing them come from the mess they're in when we get them to the final product. Participating in this JCP will benefit me because I met a lot of new people and made a lot of connections for my future career plans in the community. I think this project could be significant in the community when the boats are completed because it might bring some people to the town and bring interest to the town, and hopefully it could create some jobs and just be a big part of the community.
I wanted to be a part of this project because when I first heard about the boats from the Expo 86 being restored, I thought it was a great project, and I liked working with wood, and I thought I'd be a real good fit for the project. I think my most favorite moment on the project will be when we get to put the boats in the water and row them.
My favorite moment on the project would probably be when we put the first head on the first boat we completed. It was very exciting, satisfying experience. The biggest challenge for me was probably physical, doing things like scraping the boats, moving the boats, sanding the boats. It's a lot of very physical work at times. I think when the boats are completed, they will be a tourist attraction for the area, and with proper marketing, it will be a big benefit as a draw.
During each public presentation and ceremony, Louis Thomas, a councillor with the Niskonlup Indian Band, was invited to speak with the audience and extend a formal welcome to the Shuswap traditional territory.
White, up. Yeah, chào Louis Thomas. Asuis yami ax yami ana kalmuk. You come in at yana temuk. Yam kaka yam is kitakaus yam, which is boat in our language. Yam is you come in at the white yana temuk. Yana white up and away. Kalmuk white yam is you come in at the yana temuk. The salt qua, swallow white up. What I'm really saying is welcome, and I think it's our responsibility. When our people came to this land, they looked after the land, and now they left that responsibility to us, and I think it's all ours now to look after the land. And I'd like to again welcome you all here today, and thank you.
His participation in the project has also included talking about the project with neighboring First Nation band councils. This has increased awareness, interest, and participation in the project, and some exciting opportunities have been put forth to support future activities and helping one another going forward. This includes the historic recognition of First Nations and Chinese relations during the building of the railroad. In partnership with Shuswap Rowing and Paddling, the participants worked as part of a larger team to plan and organize the Canada 150 Original Wooden Dragon Boat Festival that was to be held July 15th and 16th at Canoe Beach in Salmon Arm, British Columbia. Unfortunately, the devastating wildfire season of 2017 put paddlers' health at risk, and the event was reluctantly cancelled just days before it was to take place. The Penticton Dragon Boat Festival recognized the efforts required to have an event of this size ready to roll and invited the organizers to bring a boat to their festival in early September. Once the work was completed on the restoration refurbishing of the boats in October 2017, the entire fleet and equipment moved from the Salmon Arm Industrial Park location to storage in the gymnasium at South Canoe Elementary School. That building was thankfully reopened as an outdoor learning center through the school district, and the boats were on the move again in June 2018. They were on full display at Centenoka Mall, while the team researched alternate gallery options. Little did they know that this would be the final opportunity for people to see the boats while they were in the BC interior. In September of 2018, the boats were transported back to the origin of dragon boating in North America, in Vancouver, BC, where discussions were underway to identify activities to support the next phase of their life. Today, there are interesting and exciting opportunities in development to preserve the entire fleet. If you, your club, your business, or your community wants to be involved, you can contact us at the email, phone, or text information provided at the end of this video. Thank you to all of the volunteers, businesses, community groups, workers, and paddlers who have participated during this amazing project that began in Salmon Arm, BC in April 2015. Throughout the project, the lives of people involved were moved in many different ways, having the original wooden dragon boats in our community. We will always be the stewards of the story as the boats continue to resonate with more people and enjoy their well-deserved place in dragon boat history. A generous donation from the elders, stewards of the wooden boats. A gift to the next generation. It took a community with heart and vision to heal this family. These dragons are ready to fly once again.